Like I remember listening to this podcast, this lady that became an IFBB pro, and she's like, the night before I was in full tracksuit and thought I was huge. And she ended up winning the next day, and I was like, oh, that can't be me. What I see and what I feel are two completely different things. I don't feel lean, but I know logically that I am. I can see why a lot of people, when they start like a weight loss journey, they'll drop off within the 2 to 4 weeks because you don't see that results.
All right, welcome back, Physikal community, to another episode. As usual, we are going to be talking to an incredible individual today. To reiterate, the whole point of this podcast is for us really to showcase our community who generally happen to be high-level athletes or very accomplished in their fields. And so basically this podcast is all about sharing their experiences, their journeys, giving you advice as well, and hopefully it's things that can be applicable for your own lives. So I would love to welcome the amazing, gorgeous Madi to the podcast today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. So Madi is, 4 weeks away now from your very first bodybuilding competition?
Yes, that's it. I'm very excited. I like the term highly accomplished athlete. I'm going to add that to my Instagram.
Absolutely. There's so much that goes into it, the training, and obviously we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper.
Yes.
But first, I would like to know, are you crazy for doing this?
Yes. No, it's definitely not a normal thing to do. I think I was crazy prior to doing this, probably why I was attracted to the sport. But yes, there's so much that goes into it. It's not a sport in the sense where like you do an hour of training and it's for a specific thing. It's everything: your sleep, nutrition, steps, work, recovery. Like it's pretty much, not controls, but impacts every aspect of your life.
It's all encompassing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What was the original driver for you wanting to get into this? Have you always been a sporty person and this was like the next step? Tell us a little bit about that.
No, I wasn't. I'm actually really uncoordinated. I was never a sporty person. It was kind of out of the blue. I always liked the gym. And then I kind of, when I started it, I used it as like a form of like self-medication and meditation. I had a very stressful job at the time. So like I didn't realize this till later, but I used the gym as like a form of meditation. Because like with weight training, there's a lot of breathing that goes into it, which is your body's natural way of meditating. So I kind of fell in love with the gym and then just kept going more and more. And I was like, well, what can show your accomplishments in the gym? Like what kind of sport is gym? And then one of my friends did a bodybuilding show and I went to support her. And then like as soon as I saw them on stage, I was like, that's going to be me. Like I want that. And then, worked with a few coaches and then just on track. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I don't know if I'll like it. And then throughout prep, although it's been brutal, I've absolutely fallen in love with the sport and like I can't wait. And I'd like just can't see me not doing this sport. Yeah.
I like how you mentioned what kind of sport is gym, right?
Yeah.
And being able to kind of showcase your accomplishments. Have you ever thought about why that was appealing to you, the showcasing in and of itself? Because I think, you can go to gym and you can still enjoy that whole process, but what is it in you that it has created that desire?
That's a good point. Yeah, because like you can go gym the rest of your life. You don't need to do bodybuilding. Like it's quite an extreme. I think I just really wanted to challenge myself and to do something. And I don't know, I love sparkly bikinis and like the fashion element and just seeing like people I knew from like, normal size to like really strip down and get lean and like the dedication. I was like, I just want to challenge myself and do something and accomplish it. And then, then I've just fallen in love with the process.
I love that. How far out are you at the moment?
So
4 weeks.
Yeah.
How long have you been prepping for?
Oh, I think it's like 21 weeks now. I
So
started
almost half a year.
Yeah. Almost, pretty much. So like from April, I had a birthday party, which was literally the theme was let's eat cake. And I just had like 100 cakes. So like literally the week before my prep, I had this cake party and just like ate all this cake and was so happy.
And that was kind of the final hurrah.
Yeah, that was the final hurrah. But in saying that, like bodybuilding, like the only thing that really changes in prep is like your nutrition for majority of prep. Like up until now, not much has changed from like training and cardio. Like it's been pretty much the same. It was the same pre-prep, so it wasn't like a big shock to my body. The only thing is like slowly reducing the calories. So like what I was at, just slowly, like probably more so in 4-week blocks. Like I drop like say like 100, 200 calories, then maintain that for 4 weeks. And then depending on how my body reacted would drop. So it's really only been like now where it's getting to like crazy mode, like 4 times of cardio, 5 weight training sessions, steps increase, calories decrease. So
yeah, I was going to say that. So when you were talking about the training being fairly consistent, there's been a lot of athletes that I've seen that have had to increase their cardio in the last however many weeks just to try and, shred as much as possible. So that's been the case for you as well?
Yes. Yeah. So like I was very fortunate in the fact that my body was like highly receptive to this. Like when I started, I got lean pretty quickly. Like I just dropped, it's like half a kilo a week almost, which isn't very common. It was really good, but now like maybe like a few weeks ago, I've been plateauing, and it's like you either do one or two things: reduce calories, which is like more so dangerous, and you don't have as much energy, or you increase cardio. So it's just that fiddly game. And then now it's like really, it's like down to that finicky, the hardest part to lose. But
which is the hardest part for you?
Oh, I actually found the first 4 weeks the hardest.
Yep.
Because like your body's not used to it. Like I was on a bulk and maintenance. I wasn't used to being hungry. And then it's like you go from that and then like you're hungry but you don't see the instant gratification. You don't see the body changes straight away. And like the comp seems so far away. Like it's in September. I'm in April. Like you tell people, they're like, that's ages away. So I can see why a lot of people when they start like a weight loss journey, they'll drop off within the 2 to 4 weeks because you don't see that results. You like don't get that end result.
Definitely.
So yeah, this part, although it's like technically harder on my body, it's more exciting.
You're closer to the finish line.
Like I got my bikini, and it's like the dates are there, and like it's on my roster, so it's like it's like there, it's here.
Definitely. Yeah. What were the first? Which part of your body started seeing changes most quickly, and which has been the slowest, and which are you still having issues with?
So first, my abdomen, like I just got abs pretty early out.
Jealous.
Which is rare. Yeah, but my legs, they're like just they're really long to lean out. Like I only just started like seeing my hamstrings literally last week. So that's like been the hardest part for me, but everybody's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so how has, I guess, you've got a coach, right? Yeah. And so how have they been in reassuring you and getting you to trust the process as well?
Yeah.
Because the final few weeks of when you're dialing in for the comp, I'm sure there's a lot going through your mind as to, will I be ready? Am I gonna, present the package that I've been working so hard to achieve? How's that been going?
Yeah, it's so funny because like I remember seeing people this close to comp, and then like I've seen a lot of girls pull out like 4 weeks out, and I look at them and I'm like, you were shredded. Like, what do you mean you're not ready? Or like people, like I remember listening to this podcast, this lady that became an IFBB pro, and she's like, the night before I was in full tracksuit and thought I was huge, and she ended up winning the next day. And I was like, oh, that can't be me. Like I've always had a pretty good like body image, in the fact never struggled with like dysmorphia or anything, but definitely like this last few weeks it is weird. Like I'll take a photo of myself in that moment. I'm taking that photo and I'll be like, I'm nowhere near ready. Like even this morning I was like, not that I feel fat in the sense of that, I just don't feel ready enough for comp, which is a crazy amount of lean. And then I'll literally look at the photo like an hour later and I'm like, what was I thinking? I look so ready. Like what I see and what I feel are two completely different things. Like I don't feel lean, but I know logically that I am.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of like stress messages to my coach being like, I don't know if I'm ready. Like, I just need reassurance. Like, am I on the right track? And he's like, no, like you're doing fantastic. Like you're on the right track. He's like, if I had any doubts, I would have brought this up. He's like, I wouldn't let you get to this point if you weren't ready. He's like, you're doing amazing. But it's like, it's definitely like an internal, and I think some ways it's kind of like a survival tactic of your body trying to get you out, because you're at a point where you're like unhealthy level leanness. I think it's like a defense mechanism of your body trying to find it out and be like, you're not ready. I'll pull you out to refeed you to get you back to healthy. So it's just like persevering and understanding, like, to really trust my coach. Because if I didn't have a coach, I probably would be like, yeah, I'm not ready. Like, I'm going to embarrass myself. Yeah. But then, having like somebody who's not starving and can like see things for how they are and is like very good at their job it's so necessary. Yeah.
Would you say that, I guess, mindset game has been the most difficult part? Or I guess, can you educate the audience on, I guess, the harsh realities potentially of the things that you've had to go through and what exactly has been the most challenging?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like each journey of the prep brings a different challenge and things that I've never experienced before, or like haven't really heard about much. But I think definitely mindset is the biggest thing, like persevering even when it's hard and you're like, I am tired, my muscles are sore, I'm starving, like what is the point? What if I'm not ready and I've just done all this for 20 weeks for nothing? Which isn't the case for people that pull out, by the way, but this is just like the internal dialogue that I like have been fighting with. But it's just that perseverance of like, even when it's tough, like putting your head down and just getting through it. And then, you know, really relying and trusting people around you that know you. And that mental, it's that mind versus body, I think is the hardest thing. Yeah. Because your body's telling you messages like, hey, I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to help you. And your mind's saying, no, we've got something to do. We got to get this done. Absolutely. So it's, you know, I'm stronger than my thoughts. I'm stronger than what my body's telling me I can do this kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're going to.
Yeah, 100%.
You're going to be incredible.
100%.
I know it.
Yeah. Oh,
and you mentioned the people around you as well. Hubby is probably closest to you.
Yes.
He's not prepping for comp or anything like that, right, at the moment? Yeah.
No.
And so I guess how has he seen any changes in you? Has there been any shifts in the relationship dynamic, general energies and things like that? Talk us through that.
He's honestly like been my biggest rock. Oh. Like I don't know how I would find it so challenging to be in a relationship with somebody that one like doesn't understand the sport or doesn't completely support it. I really take my hat off to like people that are in a relationship like that, because it's hard enough on your mind, but if somebody else is saying like, you know, get out of this is ridiculous, it'd be so difficult. Like it was, I think last week or the week, like literally from the gym, I was just like crying. I was just like, oh, I can't do this. Like I'm not ready. Like I've got to embarrass myself. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like you've got this. Like don't say that to yourself. Like don't talk to my wife like that. Like you've got this. Like what do you mean? So like he's really been like pep talk. And then even like things like dates, like you don't realize how many things are like food focused until like you're in it, and it's like parties, events that I've had to cancel, and then like dates, like he just works around me. Like yesterday we just did laps around the park and like that was our date. But it's like if I didn't have somebody in that space and they like wanted to go eat out in the movies, it's like it'd just be so challenging.
Yeah. Definitely. You've mentioned cancelling a few things. Has your, I guess, approach around all of the food and things that are associated with those events, has it been avoidance in that sense?
Yeah, it's actually so funny because like for the most part of my prep, I used to like make fun of people that would cancel events. I'm like, your life doesn't have to change. Like prep is as hard as you make it. Like these people that quit these events, like they don't have the mental stamina. Like that's what I was telling myself.
And that's like changed, obviously.
It's changed. Yeah. So like I was going to parties, but now like this last 6 weeks, I even did like this thing on my Instagram, like I'm so sorry if I cancel, if I don't respond. Like I just cut, like it's too difficult. And it's saying I want to celebrate with you, but when you're sober and all your friends are like drunk and like partying, which like is so fun, and like they're doing shots and you're there like, I should have been in bed 2 hours ago. I have to wake up at 3 a.m. And it's like, when I went to a party recently for my friend, who I love to bits, and like I was so grateful that I went, but like I just felt like I couldn't be me and give what I could. I like didn't want to be a vibe killer because I was just like, oh, like I really need to get rest, and you kind of just like the sober sad one in the corner. So I was just like, oh, I can't go. Like I just got to put my head down and get it done.
Do you feel like the same person at the moment? And I say that because low calories can not only impact you physically, but I found it to mentally also impact me, as in feelings of happiness. Like, are the highs still as high? Is your intelligence still where it should be? Have you put much thought into that?
Oh yeah, no, it's changed. I like encourage anyone to read the Minnesota starvation experiment. It is so interesting. So they took like these reasonably healthy men, like 18-year-old, no like eating disorders, body dysmorphia, whatever, and they starved half of them and then they didn't starve the other half. And then they just watched the behavior changes. 50% wanted to be like 5-star chefs. All their thoughts were food focused. They would ruminate about foods. Their cognition was lower. Their body dysmorphia was bad, where like they had to really intervene to feed them back up. Like became very dangerous. And also like just the body changes when you're in a calorie deficit. Like your smell increases, your hearing increases, your taste preferences changes. So like I've really begun liking mustard and pickles. Something I didn't even like before, but it's because like I'm at low fats and your body craves like salty sodium things. And yeah, so like definitely a different person. And I think like that's where this sport can be really dangerous, is your body literally does not have enough nutrients to think cognitively like a healthy person. And that's why you really need a coach to feed you back out of that, to get you to a healthy point. Yeah. And saying all this now, people are like, that's crazy. Why are you doing this sport? Like, it just like, you're pointing out these negatives, but I think it's just really important to like remain transparent about what it entails. And like, I think if people have struggled with eating disorders or body dysmorphia, I think like really, really think about before getting into or get a coach that's educated in those things, because some people do, after comp will like develop an eating disorder or will have a really negative view towards their body or training, or like just shut out exercise in the gym forever after that. Because, so it's good to be mindful going into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that you mentioned that actually, because you had been mentioning a little bit, the body dysmorphia, and it absolutely plays in for especially for anybody who's ever had a history of that. And I have had friends as well that have gone through, anorexia, bulimia, but have managed to get to stage. But have you ever had an eating disorder or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
And so if we consider your mentality and where you're at, not having experienced that in your history, right?
Yeah.
Versus someone who has had those
100%.
challenges earlier and is competing as well. It just, as you said, really consider it, because it is another level that you're going to experience as a part of that process as well.
100%, because your achievement is based on your body. So like an eating disorder where your body is giving you the gratification for things. Like that's the goal. Like when I'm this way, then I will be happy, and that's like that toxic mindset. Like that kind of is the sport. So it's like if you have challenge with behaviors, and like anorexia is, I think, eating disorders are things that kill the most people in mental health. It's the highest mortality rate. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, so it's like...
I will just say for the audience as well, Maddie's a nurse. That's where all of this factual information is coming
just
from.
like knowledge diary that no one... Well, yeah, because I'm an ex-mental health nurse, but I still do mental health. But I worked with child and youth, and I like saw a lot of... patients come in with that suffered from anorexia and like the real devastating effects that had. And like the last thing I want to do is promote this as like, oh, it's healthy, it's fun, like I look great, look at me kind of thing, and not really be transparent about how dangerous it can be and like just be present, because like for me, this isn't healthy weight. Like I want to go back up and like be at a healthy level. So I don't want people to perceive this as like healthy fun. Like I want to copycat that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much have you lost, actually, out of curiosity?
Yeah, so I think 7 kilos from the start.
Which is pretty crazy though, right, as well. I remember, I think by the end of my prep, I was about 10 kilos or something like that. But to look at you 7 kilos heavier, it's crazy to even think that you would have had that much to even strip off of your body as well. Right?
Yeah. 100%. I remember when I asked my coach, like, oh, like, what do you think like at the start of prep, I was like, oh, what do you think my like stage weight will be? And he told me, and I was like, I literally gobsmacked. I was like, no way. Like, that is way too small. Like I just like could not comprehend. I like initially thought like 3-4 kilos.
Yeah.
But then it's just like the level, and I'm doing like a natural bikini. That's not even that lean, like compared to like IFBB bikini level. But it's like you don't realize how lean it is until you actually see somebody that's stage lean. You're like, oh, because on stage they look big and like, oh, like in the pictures because they're very muscular.
Big.
Like that's the point. But like when you see them in person, you're like,
You're tiny.
You're teeny tiny.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like I was like never big. I was like small before I started. So it's like dramatic
Absolutely.
weight loss. Yeah.
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 What's the goal for comp day?
Comp day. Oh, to get there. No. I'm honestly just excited. I'm just happy to have a ball. Like, just experience it. Like, it's been such, like, as much as I've said, like, the cons, I've, like, absolutely loved and enjoyed the process. And, like, it's been such, like, a fulfilling aspect of, like, I've done something that's really difficult and hard. And, like, I've challenged myself and, like, I can physically see the challenge results. So I think just getting to stage and, like, being there and showcasing my hard work, like, I'd be like lying if I said I didn't want to place, but like even if I don't place, I'm still like so proud of myself and just give it my all.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to do incredible, and I'm very excited. I get to be there to watch you as well. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Any fears?
Oh, no.
That's good though. That's perfect. I know some people will say posing or heels or tripping or whatever, but no, that's great.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, my posing definitely needs work, but like
it's got 4 weeks.
Look, I'm going to go out there with a big smile. I'm going to give it my all. It'd be a bit clunky. Well, I hope it's not clunky, but if it is, who cares? Like,
you've got many categories to shake any nerves off.
That's it. I might create a new posing style. Who knows?
I would love to see it. So one question as well that I ask all of our guests, given that Physikal is all about breaking the mold, breaking the norm, going against the status quo, what is one mold that you would like to see torn down or broken, one stereotype?
Oh, it's going to sound like really like hip, like, not hip. It's going to sound very like contrast to what like bodybuilding is, but I think like just do not define your worth or like your beauty in like your body size. And like that is like bizarre coming from someone who's a bodybuilder with like, let's literally this sport. But it's like whether I'm this weight or when I was 10 kilos happy, I'm still worth the same. Like I'm still beautiful. Like I will look different, but I'm still beautiful. I'm worthy of love. And like I see this as a sport. It's something that fills my cup, but it is not what defines my worth or my sense of being. Yeah.
I love that.
Oh.
That's a great answer. And I don't think it's in contrast at all, right?
Yeah.
As well, bodybuilders, as much as the stage is one element of it, there's a whole off season that comes along with that, and that type of advice, especially for girls that are in bulks and things like that, I think is super relevant.
Yeah. That's the other thing I love about bodybuilding is it's like this, like what I am now is literally only going to be like 2 months in like a 3-year journey. Like that is such a small percentage. Like majority of the time, like I loved my body in like maintenance phase, like absolutely loved it. And I'd love my body in this phase. And it's like, it's just different versions of you. And like, you need to go through a bulk to gain muscle. So it's like each stage is important and essential. It's not just this part, which is like the cool thing. So every stage is exciting. And like, it's actually quite a privileged place to be in to be able to do this and not have like a disability or, you know, like have a support system, have the money to do it. Like
it is expensive as well.
Yeah.
That's something that I think a lot of people don't mention.
Yeah. Until you
How much is your bikini? Can we ask?
Well, initially it was $1,200. But mine is actually, so another girl, like I wanted to get her bikini.
Yeah.
I loved it. And then I just happened to be the same size as her from the maker. And she's like, I can just change the things and give it to you. So I got it way cheaper. I was like only $750 from $1,000.
Still very crazy.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. So
are we going to take a look at it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we want to take a look now?
Yeah. Sure.
If you would like, we can reveal and then we can get some B-roll of you in it.
Oh, hell
doing
yeah.
some posing.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm very excited.
All right.
Okay.
Grand reveal. I realized that when I took this video at home, I actually like had it upside down. I was like crying, holding it, and I like had it around the wrong way. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it's beautiful.
Oh my
Look.
gosh.
It is so beautiful.
That is stunning.
Oh.
Look at that color. That's actually
Yeah,
Barbie.
it is beautiful. And I like the pink before the Barbie movie, I just want to say.
I know.
I always wanted pink.
That's like I'm saying. I keep thinking this about my thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, I was pink before Barbie.
Yeah, I was Barbie before the Barbie movie, please. Just so everyone knows.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that is
it's
stunning.
beautiful.
All right. Thank you so much for
that's
joining
all right.
us on the podcast today.
Yeah.
It was an awesome conversation. And I'm so
Yes.
keen as well to get you back if you're interested after your comp.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'd love to hear
Yes,
about
yes.
see the difference, you know, from
That'll
where
be
you
so
were now
interesting.
and afterwards.
Yeah, the other side. You don't really hear much about it.
No.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that'll be
okay.
exciting. Yeah, I'm down.
All right, beautiful.
right.
Thank you. Oh, yes, I have a gift for you. Thank you, producer.
I love gifts.
Here you go, lovely.
Oh,
It's always very interesting seeing if people are a tearer or a. But I think with tissue paper, you kind
I
of
try
have to
be clean, but it just never works.
No.
Ooh.
So that's just one of
Oh,
our tanks.
hell yeah.
That's just one for the Break the Mold campaign. So that one's for you. Thank you for coming
Oh,
on.
thank you. I love it.
Of course.
Actually need more clothes.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the Physikal podcast. If you would like to support us and the podcast, I would so appreciate a 5-star review. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can do it that way. As well, if you're tuning in on YouTube, drop us a subscribe. That's not what they say. They say drop us a comment. But
Do
if you could
both.
subscribe, like, comment, I would appreciate all of the love and support. As well, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok. So we're just at Physi.Kal. And if you're interested in getting some of our amazing activewear that Maddie and I are both sporting today, you can jump onto our website at letsgetphysikal.com. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Woohoo!